each and every day. We're right across from Tropicana Field in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm Mike Rickard alongside Ray Kennedy. Baseball, Big Bets, Ben Botham. Brad Richardson's on our way in our primetime Preps Body Armor conversations in the second hour. And, of course, Barry Smith. We got a great lineup today, guys, like we usually do.
Always.
And these are people that have been on before, but Barry Smith turned 75 years old today.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 2 days ago. He is celebrating for a month. Of course, Barry Smith, Florida Sports Hall of Fame.
The OG number
inductee.
88.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, number 22 in your program, in your hearts when he was at Florida State. Broke about every record there was, and he also was a Division I hurdler and just a tremendous athlete. We're going to have a lot of fun with him. He did pretty well in the draft, too, if you remember.
First round, going to Green Bay, and then, fortunately, we had him here in 76, and we're number 88, the OG team for your Buccaneers. And
one thing people don't know, that, and his wife shared this with me at dinner, he was on his way to the Miami Dolphins.
What?
Howard Twilley was going to retire. There's a name, a blast from the past. And they discovered he had polio.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember I told you that?
Oh, yeah, the polio story. I remember you telling me about it.
Bizarre. Anyway, so then Alex Reba. Alex Reba, of course, is our collegiate correspondent from across the country. He has been at 6 NBA and college games this week. He was at Colorado State in Fort Collins. He was in Boulder, University of Colorado. He was at a Nuggets game. Then he caught a quick jet to Northern California, Golden State game. University of California game, and San Francisco University game.
Does this guy work?
That's what I said to him. I want that
almighty.
gig. So we'll talk to Alex Reba, and then this is the highlight right now, guys, of Tampa Bay. We're going to talk to Wyatt Ross. Tampa Bay Lightning, baby. How about the Lightning?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, except for last night, they end up losing to St. Louis. And
That's because you hexed them. You kept saying that to
not.
him. When we were talking, you were like, okay, well, they're going to go to 12-0. And
I'm at 12-0. But yeah, 11 in a row is the team back in 2020, February. They set at 11 and still stays at 11. So 11 currently is the record for the most games wins in a row for your Lightning. But yeah, looking forward to talking to Wyatt.
Exactly. And then we also, in the second hour, we'll have the Clearwater Central Catholic boys basketball team right in front of us on our primetime preps. And then after that, we're going to talk to Chris Harvey, who's on his way to Miami, the alum, going to the Natty, as you young guys call it.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for that, Mike.
Of course, that's Indiana against the Miami Hurricanes. We'll talk a lot about that in the in your primetime, in your Big Bets, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
And then you guys will do some conversation on, of course,
a little soft shoot,
little divisional playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
And Monday night, and I'm looking forward to Monday night. This
and
place will be packed.
This Brandon Lux, right? The new second baseman for the Lux. Is this guy?
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk Rays.
Yeah,
Rays,
we're going
we'll
to
talk
talk
about
Rays.
that.
I'm excited about the Rays. The Rays are making big moves, and there's a lot of Rays news going on. They're talking stadium. They talked about new locations. They're examining some stuff. So I'm excited to see where it goes. St. Pete is still on the table. I just want all of our listeners to know that. St. Pete is still on the table.
100%.
It's not written off. And I think especially once they get to HCC and they take a look at that site, they're going to realize what a bonehead move that would be to put a stadium there and to build it there. I love their commitment to the area. I love that they keep saying that. But they're going to realize that it is absolutely asinine to think that putting a stadium at the HCC site is a good idea.
And the thing is, unless you're looking for a megatropolis sporting complex, which would be
Like
the
the
stadium,
Braves.
like the Braves, but that's the Battery, and that draws in fans of the Braves from 5 states, Alabama.
We've been
Tennessee,
talking
North
about that forever.
But the thing is that unless they're looking at that, I don't know how Zalupski and Babby and Cosgrove, I don't know how they're going to get their $1.5 billion back out of just having a little Ellington built around a stadium jammed into Del Mabry. But if they've got a plan, then let's see it.
HCC is apparently, according to the most recent stuff that they've been talking about, they did a little press conference, and there's another one coming January 20th, I believe, is when they're doing the next one. But they're going to set aside 100 acres, apparently, for them at that HCC site, which I don't understand where that exists.
Well, they got to close a school and a strip club because, believe it or not, on both ends, that's Tampa for you.
You can't close a strip club.
Well, wait a minute.
You can't do that. That's Tampa culture.
Oh, that's Barry Smith. Barry heard us talk about
Daryl Strawberry and Gooden are going to be crying on that day.
There goes Tampa for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's of course he's the godfather and the great in the Bay Area, and that is the great Barry Smith. 75 years young, fellas. Let's give him another round of applause here.
Mr. Barry Smith.
And he's still rocking and rolling. He's been partying for a month now. He called it the holidays earlier, but now it's birthday week, and he's always got an excuse to party and enjoy life, and we're blessed to have him as a part of our team. What's going on, brother?
Well, let me tell you what, Mike, when you turn 3/4 of a century old, I think that you have the right to party your ass off.
You got that right.
Yep. And you know what makes it easy? You know, I am blessed with some dear friends and dear family that love to party too. So, you know, we jump-started this thing a week ago, and we're still going. And we'll I think I was told that sundown tomorrow it'll all come to an end. But,
no. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You tell Marianne, you're winding
right.
you're winding the tour down at
All right.
America's #1 sports bar, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill, who you have been a frequent name down here for decades, and you're
Absolutely.
gonna bring a gang down here, and the tab's on me. So it's not done. It's not over till I say it's over.
You're not over.
I like that. Hey, I'm all in. You'll never hear me say no.
All right, brother. Well, I know one of the things that you love is watching NFL football. Why don't we talk a little bit about these divisional matchups? And I'm sure you've been looking at them. You know, now that your beloved Packers are gone, I weep that day. So my 2-year-old grandson, and of course your Bucks folded early. Who you pulling for?
Well, here's the wild card. The Texans, Houston Texans.
What the hell?
I know that came right out of left field. Now here's why. Okay, you know, I got no skin in the game. You know, my teams are out of it. However, okay, my son Andrew played at Georgia Tech. His roommate and teammate James Lippert, okay, is in charge of scouting for the Texans. Okay, so you know he wants to keep his job, so he goes, "This is probably the most important game the Texans have ever played." You know, they got a chance to play, you know, for the championship there. So, you know, keep those hopes alive. So, hey, I'll be pulling for those guys.
They got a hell of a defense.
They do, and it's going to be a tall task to have them, because you got to put pressure on Drake May there tomorrow night in New England. So it's going to be one doozy of a game.
Right. No, hey, that's another good one. Listen, when you get this point of the playoffs, you know, everybody's live. Anybody can win it. Don't forget, you know, back a few years ago, the Bucks came as a wild card and wound up winning the whole enchilada. You know, because I tell you what, I was in Green Bay with my son when Brady was playing against Aaron Rodgers for the NFC Championship, and you go, there's no way the Bucks have a chance to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the frozen tundra. And you know what? The Bucks kicked his ass. Okay, so,
I don't want to hear that.
you know, so, hey, you know what? That's why it's fun to watch football right now on all levels, because everybody's all in and they're going balls to the walls.
Of course, Barry, being a first-round pick of the Green Bay Packers and being at that championship game, but being a wide receiver yourself, you had to respect that catch that Scotty Miller tripped into the end zone as it fell into the breadbasket. But did you understand, there in Green Bay, obviously you're still pulling, but here in Tampa Bay, we felt right there before halftime that was the closing of the game. Did the Packers still have a shot there, or was that kind of almost one of the nails into that coffin?
As a matter of fact, you could feel now, you know, when they say the whole thing, it was like the Packers deflated. That was like the death knell. That was like the stake in Dracula's heart. You know, I mean, it was over because they never came back. It was over at that point. You know, but you know what? I'll say I couldn't lose either way. But I was very excited for the Bucks because it was a hell of a comeback. It was a hell of a run. I live in Tampa. You know, I'm a Floridian, and I was a member of that original Buccaneer team. And the Packers ain't writing any more checks. So what the hell?
No more.
You know, I was down here helping Ferg. The place was jam packed, and I'd never seen Mark. Mark's not a real emotional guy, and I'm standing next to him, and I looked at him, and his tear. He admitted it. His eyes were welled up. You know, he said, "We're advancing." I'm standing next to him trying to be, politically correct because I'm so pissed off at that University of Iowa defensive back that got torched.
I didn't even, that was a,
Trust me.
He did get torched. Yes, he did.
I have nightmares.
His ass
He
is
should have
still
kicked his
burning
ass
hot
out of
fire.
the league after that. Anyway,
Yeah.
he was an embarrassment to the University of Iowa. Anyway, but I actually felt so good for you, lifelong Bucks fans. And then in the Super Bowl, I'm telling you right now, he did weep, and so did his wife and Mark and his son. And I don't know if it's because they knew they're going to make more money, but Mark was he was at the first win, so he's been there all along.
Yep.
I'll back you up, Barry, on this. Sorry to cut you off, but in that season, the hardest road to that Super Bowl 55 was that first weekend, that wild card game against the Washington Commanders, in which they almost beat us that game. And so I just wanted to back that up with that Houston Texans of the road teams this weekend. I think they're my favorite road dog for sure, road team.
Defense wins championships, boys.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Hey, if you can't score, you can't win. So yeah, we'll check that out. Hey, what about Monday night?
That's where I wanted to go next. What do you think? I mean, it's your hometown, Miami, and the place is going crazy. They get to play at home. Your perspective.
Well, first, obviously I was born and raised in Miami. My dad started taking me to Miami Hurricane games in the Orange Bowl, which that's a whole nother subject that is not there anymore, but in 1959, I'm 8 years old. Hell, I'm watching Frank Kersey run around as a left-handed quarterback doing his magic, so so in the early years, I was a diehard. Listen, when my dad, we buried him, he was in all his Miami Hurricane regalia. Now, move on. Okay.
What are you going to be buried in? You got a bunch of jerseys.
Yeah, hey, listen. So it would be hard for me to root. Okay, now I'm gonna mix it up here. To root against Miami because all of my family on my dad's side, they're all Miami Hurricanes. They're still alive and kicking, went there and all that stuff. And my dad would haunt me if I pulled against Miami, as my son reminded me about that. Okay. On the other hand, how do you pull against Indiana? I mean, they're like the shooting star that's come out of nowhere, and they're riding this wave, and they got a hell of a defense. And you look at the season, it is magical. The stadium, I'm telling you, even though it's in Miami, I think that probably 3/4 of the fans that are going to be there are going to be Indiana fans. They've been waiting their whole life. This is like the cicadas that come out of the ground every 15 years, that these Indiana fans are everywhere, and they're spending the money because this is it, And so, listen, as a fan, I'm looking for another exciting game. I think all the playoffs, for the most part, have been wild, have been great. There's been a couple blowouts if you go, wow. But, hey, I'm going to be watching it. I assume that Burge is going to have a game watch party.
Yeah, you think it's going to be crazy down here. It's going to be, and I think we'll have a nice assembly of Indiana fans. But next year we're going to be an Indiana watch party location like we are with 5 other teams. But I think it'll be mostly people from the U.
Yep. And I got a lot of buddies that I played against, at Florida State. That were Miami Hurricanes, and in the NFL that are Miami Hurricanes. Hell, Ted Hendricks, the Mad Stork, was my roommate in 74.
Oakland Raiders, baby.
Yeah, right. And the Chuck Foreman, Burgess Owens. So, it's a lot of guys. George Meyer, dear friend, I could go on. But it's going to be an exciting game. But I'll say deep down inside, I would love to see the Canes win, to bring it back home to the state of Florida. They do represent the ACC. And you do see, the ACC kicked the SEC's ass this year, and the SEC didn't do much. They haven't been relevant now in a couple of seasons. So maybe the worm is turning.
Yeah, my mind is still going back to you roommating with Ted Hendrickson. And what kind of conversations? Ted Hendricks. And what kind of conversations were going on there, Barry? But let me ask.
They weren't about football.
I don't think that.
Oh, Teddy was. Teddy was wild. He was, he was an incredible athlete, a very cerebral, but the guy was a party animal. I mean, he was a party animal, and he was perfect. He did fit in with Green Bay because Green Bay's kind of, family oriented. He goes out to the Raiders and he fits it perfect because it's a team of misfits, out there. But they all blended. Listen, I would love to have had Teddy Stabler as my QB and play on that offense. Are you kidding me? Fred Blitnikoff's a dear friend. We talk all the time, and he tells me the stories about Hendricks and Stabler and the rest of those guys. And you get Lyle Alzado. You can keep on going. There's never a shortage.
No, and those were great teams. I watched them closely. Unfortunately, my allegiance was to the Denver Broncos, who it'll be interesting today. It'll be interesting today, as a number one seed. Be interesting to see. And I do think that elevation factor will have something to do with it. But I just saw today on Sports Center, which is kind of a mind. You know what? When you're walking outside of the visitors' locker room, it says 5,280.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Feet. Elevation.
It will make you ill.
Hey, listen, I played there before. I get it. I understand. But you know what?
Were you gassed?
Hey, well, it does. You got to be on that oxygen tank a lot because it is. You can't just get used to it in 24 hours. You can't make the adjustment. So you got to be in shape. Listen, my freshman year at Florida State, we played a game in Mexico City in the Olympic Stadium.
Holy hell.
September of 1969, I played Olympic Stadium where the summer before they had the Olympics. John Carlos and all that stuff was going down.
Bob Beeman going 28 feet.
Wow.
That was the same thing. That was wild up there, but hey, you know what? You get fired up. They're all going to be good games.
Josh Allen, who went to Wyoming, he has a little perspective on that. He said, hey, you just keep a positive mindset. You saw it, and hit that oxygen tank a lot. So it's a different era. They'll have everybody on the juice when they get to the sideline.
How about the Bears? Can the Bears figure out the Rams tomorrow night to cap off the weekend there, Barry?
You know what? You know what? They're.
We were having a positive conversation until you brought up the freaking Bears.
Bring 'em back.
First of all, hey, listen, the Bears. I'm not a fan of the Bears. So I root for whoever is playing the Bears.
Me too.
Okay, so we'll just leave it at that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am okay. Listen. Stafford. Okay, with the Rams. Okay, his father was the swimmer at Florida State. I knew his dad, John Stafford. Okay, great dude.
Wow.
He was a swimmer at Florida State, a Florida State grad, and we worked together at one time. And and Andrew in his 2008 beat the Georgia Bulldogs between the hedges when Stafford was a QB. So, anyways, going back, so I'll be pulling for the Rams because I don't like the Bears.
There you go.
Hey, what between you and Andrew, the combination of family memories. I mean, that's what it's all about. But you guys are deep, and gives you an excuse and a reason to travel with your son as the wives stay home.
Well, listen to this. Okay, so they're getting ready to send out the dates of the college games here from Florida State and Tech in a couple weeks. Okay, and I do know that FSU plays in Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech plays in Pittsburgh, where my daughter is. So I go to Andrew. I go because I'll go up for those games. And just another excuse to go visit my daughter and her husband up there, but and see JT, James Thomas, who plays Steelers. But
our man,
my son looks at me and goes, "Oh, the hell with Pittsburgh, we're going to California." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, Georgia Tech's playing Stanford. So Calvin Johnson, Megatron, and I, we're doing a week's road trip. We're going to play all these golf courses and ended up at the football game. So you're coming along, just like last year." We went out to Boulder, Colorado for that thing, with, a bunch of the guys, so Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's what keeps your ass young, right there, hanging with the
Well-
hanging you with the young guns.
Hey, Clint Eastwood said, "Never let the old man in."
And I'm
All
looking
right.
in that mirror every day after I've been getting my ass kicked and telling myself that too, my man.
Yep. Oh, God bless.
So go back.
Well.
I want to ask you about the because we're talking about dads and sons here. I'll be quick here, Barry. But Mendoza, of course, he plays quarterback for Indiana. And his father,
That's right.
his father played at Miami, of course, with Mario Cristobal. Was there when he played there. So lots of storylines going on there. So even though we're always about the U, Indiana and that Cinderella story and the Mendoza and the Miami ties, it does give us an all-out to root for just a great game, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, Mendoza went to Columbus High School, which was right down the street. Was one of my rival high schools. We played them, in high school. Okay, so I know all about Columbus. And of course, we're going. How come he didn't end up at Florida State or something like that?
Oh.
How do you wind up? Of course, what a neat journey that he had and he has. So it's hard to pull against Mendoza because he's just a great young man, got some great values, and it's hard to pull against Indiana. I mean, come on.
Yes, sir.
Well, my friend, I certainly wish you a belated birthday. I'm going to hold you to that, bringing the gang down here. I remember the time you brought Mary Ann's brother and a gang of her family, and these
Florida
people,
Gators.
and these people are fun. They're drinking
Yes.
pitchers of beer, firing up nails, and and just down to earth people. Bring that gang down again. You're more
We
than
will do
welcome.
that.
Yeah.
We will do that. We will do that, man. We'll do that.
And your birthday present from me is going to be, with the exception of opening day, you pick the game you want to the Rays, and I'll get you the ticks, bro.
Well, thank you. Listen, I am jacked up about getting back to Tropicana. I love the Rays, and of course, it's right down the street. It makes it nice and easy. But hey, I'm a big fan of Tropicana. Hey, you never ever get rained out, and you don't sweat in Tropicana.
You're making
I
Ben
love that.
Botham smile from
Man,
ear
look
to
at-
ear.
look at
The
him.
old
And you're
gray
right
lady.
and you're right next to Ferg's where you go and you get lit up before you go to the game. And then you pop in after the game. I love it.
All right, man. Have a great weekend. We love you.
I
I
love
love you too, man.
right, happy belated, Barry.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Gotta love the
That's-
shout out to
that's
the old
Barry
gray
Smith.
lady there.
Yeah.
But Mendoza, I love Mendoza. I think that he's a spectacular quarterback, and I love
Yes.
the Indiana team. Their head coach too. He's a dog. I love him. The look he has on the sidelines, spectacular.
Signetti, yes.
Signetti?
Yeah,
Signetti.
love him.
It's just like I'm pissed off all the time.
But isn't it if Miami wins the national championship? I believe that'd be the first time the college team is winning it in
At
their home stadium.
Right. Well, yeah, because they've played in the Orange Bowl before, but not
Yeah.
winning the championship at home. And this is something, it rotates every. In fact, it's here in 2 years, going to be played at Raymond James Stadium.
Really?
The
That's
national
gonna
champ-
be
the
legendary.
The USF Bulls will be the second team.
The
get
second
that
Super
I
home
forgot the Natty's here.
It's going to be in 2 years. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, we got to the World Traveler. He's our basketball, football, NFL. You name the sport. He's our correspondent, and he's kind enough to join us. He's got jet lag. He's wiped out, but he's young. He's energetic, and he's our own Alex Reba. What's going on, young man?
Doing great. Good to be back, Mike. No jet lag. We've been acclimated to the West Coast time zone for a few days here now, so we're already 3 hours behind. I don't know how they do it out here because the games are all over by like 10 o'clock. I feel like I'm missing something when I can't go to bed without some late night hoops or something. It's weird.
Alex, this is Ray, brother. Good to talk to you, my friend. I have to ask you, though, even going from the elevation at 5,000 feet down to, well, it's still elevated there in California, is the pressure or the jet lag not as important to you because, it's not that bad in first class like it is back in coach?
Definitely not in first class.
Private jet.
Haven't reached that status just yet. No PJs, none of that. And no, I'm not a world class athlete, so I can't speak to the elevation change. But we did get 3 really good hoops games in the state of Colorado, so maybe there is something to be said about and it was the road teams all that were favored and couldn't come away with dubs necessarily. So it was fun, but great basketball in the state of Colorado, even better basketball in the state of California. So it's been a great time.
I already gave a preview of the games you're at, and I'm pretty accurate. But why don't you tell everybody, the wide world of travel and the 6 games that you attended?
Yeah, so I mean, we booked this trip a while back. It's always been an inside joke with my buddy who lives out in San Francisco. He's 20 minutes away from the Dons, who are San Francisco's only D1 team in the actual
Bill Russell,
city
baby.
of San Francisco.
Bill Russell.
2-time national champs in the 50s, and they won an NIT back then too when it was a national championship. So they have 3 banners hanging. They're always a strong team in the WCC. It's usually them and Santa Clara kind of punching up at St. Mary's, and of course Gonzaga. And I said we got to go see Gonzaga or St. Mary's when they play the Dons this year, because the whole WCC is changing. They're going to be moving into the new Pac-12. It's going to be a very different kind of conference out here. So we made the most of it. We booked this whole trip around St. Mary's, San Francisco. San Francisco wasn't able to win, but they put up a great fight on their home court, which is beautiful. It's brand new, renovated, but very intimate too. Like less than 4,000 could fit into it.
I thought the big reason, I mentioned it in the text to you, is that being a fan and a friend of Coach Carter, that you went out there because that's where the Worm attended and started for a couple of years.
I did not realize that. San Francisco's got a lot of history for such a small private school, and that's even another good piece of lore that I knew you'd know. I mean, we got to see Cal as well on this trip, who won the national title in 1959. And you were texting me about the national titles back then. I was like, nobody would know these better than grandfather Mike, you know?
Yeah, the OG. So finish the trip because it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, so we started off in Colorado. We did little late night hoops on Friday with Colorado State at home versus UNLV. Colorado State, usually a pretty good program. They lost their coach, Nico Medved, last year to Minnesota. He's doing a good job in year 1 over there, whereas Colorado State's still kind of building a new identity under a former NCAA March Madness legend, Ali Farouk Banesh, if you remember that name,
of
Kevin
course,
Harlan, and hitting a game winner for Northern Iowa.
University
right?
of Northern Iowa Panther,
yeah.
baby.
Of course, yep. So he's trying to build a culture there. They got the win over UNLV, who's also trying to build a new program under Josh Pastner, who was at Georgia Tech and doing a lot of ESPN TV. That was a fun one. Saturday, we got to the Big 12. We saw Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a real threat this year to win a national title. They have one of the best players in the country in JT Toppin. I'd say he's probably second to one of the other guys that we got to see on this trip later in the Duke Blue Devils, who have probably the number 1 pick in the NBA draft and son of former NBA legend Carlos Boozer, Cam Boozer, who's a twin on the team, no less. But Saturday's game, Colorado was down by 24. They stormed back. They actually got it to within a possession, had a chance to win at the buzzer, couldn't get the final basket to go. But Texas Tech is a real threat this year. They have elite defense, and then they have one of the best scorers in the country. And then Sunday, we took it to the Bigs. We went to, unfortunately, no Jokic, no most of the Denver Nuggets, but they put up a great fight. They actually won behind some scoring from Jalen Pickett, a Penn Stater, and some really good role play, Aaron Gordon. They took it over Giannis, and the Bucks are not looking too good, Mike. I'm not.
Oh man, they're
not seeing a lot of signs to say the Bucks are
sad state of affairs.
Trade Giannis, yeah, I don't know. It's getting to that point. The construction of that roster just does not look good. And then Monday we flew out west and we watched the heartbreaking NFL game on the plane that was the Pittsburgh Steelers, the end of the Mike Tomlin era. I can't even begin to describe that one. All I've known for 19 years of Pittsburgh Steelers has been Mike Tomlin. So it's definitely a strange year to lose James Franklin, who's been there for 12, and then Mike Tomlin for 19.
You had a bad year, buddy.
You've had
a bad year, bro.
Hey, Alex, who's your favorite college basketball coach? I'm buying a futures bet today.
It was Coach K, so at least we don't have to worry about him. I don't think he's coming out of retirement anytime soon. But no, yeah. So then we made it out here. We did the Dons on Tuesday. Told you about that. Wednesday, we went across the bay and we got to see Berkeley play Duke. That brought all the stars out. Steph Curry was there. Scottie Pippen was there because his son, Justin Pippen's one of the top players on his Cal team. Cal put up a good fight, but we actually kind of went to the wrong Bay Area game that night because across the bay over at Stanford, North Carolina, got upset by Stanford behind a 36-point scoring affair on a freshman. And Stanford is a team to keep an eye out for in the ACC. They put up some big nights against some big competition, and then they host Duke today, which should be a really good one out here as well. Today, we're doing a doubleheader. We're actually hitting the Sacramento era. We're seeing UC Davis and UC Irvine, and then Northern Colorado and Sacramento State. Still goes, yep. And then tomorrow, one final Dons game against, I believe it is Oregon State. No, Washington State, excuse me. Can't forget those two remaining Pac-12 teams. And that is, I know we did the Warriors and the Knicks on Thursday. No Jalen Brunson, but we did get Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler at their best, who they had been a struggle to watch this year, but have been turning it around a little bit.
He's been burning the candle at both ends.
That's the trip.
Well, you're curious. They want to know what the hell you do for a
Are
living.
you employed? Like, what is going on?
We did use our 3 vacation days in the middle of the week. We got a 9-mile run in on Wednesday. You know, I didn't have much else to do, so I just kind of explored the city, got some steps in, and then Monday and Friday we were up early, 5 a.m. Local time, doing the job. You know, so it's
doing the job.
Hey,
their job is to go to sporting
doing the
events.
job.
No, I'm kidding. Hey, Alex, let me ask you this though.
I wish.
Let's work back to Mike Tomlin. You saw he got to his daughter's competition there at Georgia as Georgia upset Florida, the Gators. There was no other way for this to end, right? I was tired every year of hearing, would this be the year? Would 500 be enough? Would the Rooney family fire him? They were never going to fire him. This kind of did end the way it did, even though the timing may not have ever been
on
right.
his terms.
On his terms.
It's very complicated because it's eerily similar to how I felt about James Franklin leaving. I didn't necessarily feel like when a coach that has achieved a lot of sustained success leaves your program, it's a good thing long term for the stability of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that in both cases, both parties kind of needed to move forward amicably into a new direction, and it might be best for both of them. I think in Tomlin's case, I think it's no doubt he will be the most sought after coach on the market, because there's something to be said about 19 consecutive seasons never having a losing one. Like, that is insanely impressive no matter what organization you're coaching in any professional level of sports. So I don't think that I'm going to be happy in the new era with Mike Tomlin gone, but I do think there just needs to be a reset. There needs to be a quarterback that you can build future around. I mean, Sean Payton had to leave New Orleans once Drew Brees left because the situation just wasn't the same anymore. And I think we've been slapping bandages on a team that hasn't been the same since Ben Roethlisberger was still playing at a pretty elite level. So I think it's tough, but it's probably the right move for both parties.
So you're saying number 8 is definitely gone?
I 100% think we've seen the last of Aaron Rodgers. Wow. Yeah, I think if he was still coming back, I think Tomlin sticks around and gives it one more year. But I think when Tomlin left, that kind of closed the door for Rodgers with the Steelers. Now, maybe Aaron wants to play cowboy again for another team. I don't mean that with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, maybe he just wants to ride in and try to take one last shot with somebody else. But it's got to be a good O-line, because we did not have the O-line to protect him against that Texans defense.
I was very pleased with the year he had.
Perk Rogers is going to keep slinging it. He's got another season, maybe another 2 in him.
If Pittsburgh
Brady went to 45.
Who's the next coach going to be? Maybe do they bring in a coach that maybe he played for in Green Bay, and the two of them reunite for a year and see what happens? Or what are the Steelers going to do? Are they going defense or offense with the next coach, Alex?
There's been those rumors. I actually just saw the Dolphins' former coach got an interview with the Bucs for their OC position. So that was an interesting Twitter headline that just came through. But no, I mean, I think there's a lot of options that they're going to get thrown around, a lot of big names on the coaching market. I've heard people say John Gruden for every single team I follow, which is funny.
He's not leaving that Barstool gig, man. He
gets paid to unwrap. He gets paid to unbox. I mean, what better thing in the world is there?
He is not leaving that gig.
No, it's just funny. I've heard him for the Bulls. I've heard him for Penn State, and I've now heard him for the Steelers. So I can't escape John Gruden to my team's rumors. But no, I think I honestly think it's the Steelers. There's a reason they've had 4 coaches since 1969. They're going to probably go with someone no one's ever heard of. I saw they were interviewing the passing game coordinator for the Rams, who's I think he was a former Iowa State coach, Mike. I forget what his name is off the top of my head, but
yeah, he's an assistant to Matt. He was an assistant to Matt Campbell.
oh well, Matt Campbell, that's my guy now. So I don't know. I think they'll probably go with someone you and I have never really heard of or know much about, and that's kind of what Mike Tomlin was. And it'll probably be someone youthful, and it's probably someone who has the best job security in the NFL on day one, just because of the infrastructure the Steelers kind of have. And it's a nuanced argument, because on the one hand, you're the Steelers. There is this expectation we fight for Super Bowls. We are that good, but unfortunately they haven't been. And 7 straight playoff losses for Mike Tomlin, that's a pretty tough stat to swallow if you're a Steelers fan.
And
so
Adam, I'll hit
it's
you with
crazy.
this. You get it. No one knew Mike Tomlin. Or we knew Mike Tomlin in Tampa Bay, but he was not a big name. But then no one knew Raheem Morris, who the Bucs hired out of But if you're looking for a defensive-minded coach, because I don't know what Pittsburgh any other way. I'd like to see maybe someone off of that Mike McDonald staff out there in Seattle after what they get done this year. Because if they can bring that kind of a defensive pressure and press back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, then quarterback's not your biggest problem.
I think that's a pretty good point. I don't necessarily think the defenses were the issue under Mike Tomlin. I mean, this defense is kind of strange. People keep calling it old. There are only 3 guys over the age of 30 on the defense, and they're some of the better players. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's best days. Yeah, they are the biggest contracts, and it was the most expensive NFL defense this season. And was it good? I would say they played pretty good. I mean, it was the third quarter, and it was 7-6. They put C.J. Stroud into a lot of trouble throughout that game. It just kind of turned around on him whenever they got that strip sack, and then their defense just completed the. I mean, Aaron Rodgers couldn't move the ball in that game. It was pretty obvious the defense wasn't the issue for most of that game in the Steelers' case. So I do think a new coach could bring back that steel curtain mentality more so potentially. But again, I really didn't have an issue with the way Mike Tomlin ran the Steelers, because they still, at the end of the day, they were fighting for the AFC North. They were beating the teams that they had to beat, and I don't know. It's a very strange feeling though.
I want Mike Tomlin in a booth. I'm sorry. I know everyone these days does it. T.J. Watt's doing it. They're all going to the booth. But Mike Tomlin, if he wants to spend time, watch his with family, not be under that pressure, put him on any network, Netflix, Amazon, and I'm watching, because the cat, he does know how to bring it when it comes to doing presentations and talking to the media. So that would be kind of exciting too. But you're pretty sure he wants to coach, or he'd be coaching again next year, no, Alex?
Well, that's an interesting case as well. If he does decide he wants to coach, that helps the Steelers, because the Steelers own his draft rights, or however that works. They get compensation from another team if he decides to coach this year, this coming year, or the year after. After that, I don't know. I do think he's been coaching for 20 years with the Steelers. He was in the NFL with the Vikings before that. It's probably a good time to take a step back and, away from the pressure, spend some time with his family. I actually am not the biggest proponent of him going in the booth, mostly just because I don't know if you've watched a lot of Mike Tomlin press conferences. He's just, he's not exactly the most charismatic individual. He has very funny quotes and clips. He's the perfect guy for 10-second bite-sized snapshots. Yeah.
He's got some great ones.
But I don't necessarily want to spend 4 hours with him calling a game or doing the halftime broadcast.
How about him and Gronk?
I think a lot of
him and Gronk will call it big and little.
Gronk is great for clips, but do you really want to listen to Gronk? I don't know.
What's he always say about my mama had man's parts or something like? I don't know what the hell.
That was his quote. Yeah, after the Ravens game. Does Ben have it?
I think it's if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Well, he didn't say balls. He said parts.
Oh, well.
No, he did say part. Yeah, it was. Yeah, if my aunt had
self-report.
If my aunt had male parts, she would be my uncle.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that was it. Yeah,
the standard is the standard. He's full of all the Tomlinisms again, which are great in clips. But I don't know if I want him talking for 4 hours.
Great point.
Like some of the guys we got on TV, which everyone does too, by the way. Like you said, we have too many guys on TV as it is.
Alex,
these booths
too many talking heads. Too many talking heads on every one of these broadcasts.
Yeah, I got to ask this though before we're up against it. Monday night, Indiana, Miami.
We got 6 minutes.
What we got going on here? Give us something, Adam. You're the numbers guy, and Ben's the guy with the app on his phone. Tell me what I'm looking for in this game.
Well, this national title game is exciting for me because, as you know, Mike, my girlfriend was not the biggest football fan when I met her, but she has become a bigger one over the years. And this year especially, she was very excited for the Steelers playoff game, got, broken heart very quickly. And I said, welcome to the club. That's how it's been for a while. But for the national title game, we could not have a better game for someone who is Cuban American like herself, than to get into this game with a game in Miami, featuring a quarterback who grew up in Miami and whose father played football with the coach of the University of Miami, who is also Cuban American.
Beautiful.
And of course, Fernando Mendoza is the Heisman national champion, is a phenomenal story. They're going for the undefeated season, going up against a Hurricane team that we didn't even think was going to potentially get into the college football playoff, even though that was always the right decision. Sorry, Mike, Notre Dame. You never had a chance. You never stood a chance. But I think this Miami team, I think they're going a little underrated into this national championship. They have, I think, the best offensive line and defensive line in college football, whereas this Indiana team has just looked explosive on both sides of the ball. Their defense has looked more physical and more explosive than even the players at Alabama whenever they absolutely steamrolled them in the Rose Bowl. So I understand the line being as high as it is, but this is technically a home game.
What's it,
right
8.5?
now
Still at 8? Is it still at 8.5?
I think opened at 7.5, and then maybe 8.5, 9.5. I've seen as high as. So there is definitely a lot of favor on the Hoosiers, who also are lobbying that they're going to be taking over Hard Rock Stadium, that they're going to be flooding it out in red. I will see how that goes. I know there's a lot of Miami money in Coral Gables, so I think it'll be a great national championship. I think we have two elite teams. I think Carson Beck's got to take care of the ball. He did exactly what he needed to do in that national semi against Ole Miss. He was phenomenal. That final drive to get them to the lead was fantastic.
And scoring
the
a
defense
touchdown,
showed up.
right?
Hey, when
And
you're
running it in.
27 when you're 27 years old, you should know what the hell you're doing.
Well, and there's another great even tidbit. Fernando Mendoza was offered $3 million to play at the University of Miami this year. He turned that down and took $2 million from Indiana. So there's just so many storylines between these two teams.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. That's college football now. I mean, these guys are bringing in you've seen the ticket prices for this game. It's $3,000 plus to get in the door. You're telling me these quarterbacks don't deserve a cut of that? I mean, these guys have been phenomenal.
There's a lot of Indiana farmland that's being mortgaged against those tickets.
And where are your seats at? Where are your seats at? And I want to ask you, are you in town for that game Monday night?
No, I'm flying back Monday night, so I'm actually going to be on a plane again for that one,
Is your
which is
girlfriend
also
still here?
Stressful. My girlfriend is here.
You tell her that
she'll be in.
You tell her come over here Monday for the pregame and watch a little of the game. Ray will take care of her. I'll bring my wife, but she can have a good time rooting for her Miami Hurricanes or for Mendoza or whomever. But it is going to be a fantastic game, brother.
We are a Hurricanes household this weekend because when we went to the USF Miami game back in September and they got absolutely rocked at Hard Rock Stadium, I said this is a national championship team, and I put $100 wager on the Hurricanes to win the national title.
Wow!
So we are stressing a 18-1 bet on Monday night. So
Holy hell!
That's how you
very
afford to
much
go to the games. That's how you afford to.
I'm sorry.
That's the thing.
I'm sorry, Alex.
I still could not afford it.
As much as I love you, I can't. I would be pulling for you with that bet, but I still got to go with Indiana. But damn, that would be cool. 18
My heart
to
is
1.
broken. The whole time I was in the semifinals. My Indiana was plus 125. I said, do I just get out of this and just pray and Miami gets to the championship and I can split the difference here and I walk away with 800, 900 because I also do not want to root against Indiana. Mendoza's the nicest, most incredible Heisman we've had in years. And it's a Big Ten team with Signetti, a Pittsburgh guy. I want to root for them, not the Hurricanes. They've won their natties before. But here we are. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to go with your wallet. So go Canes.
He's got that Tim Tebow effect almost. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, he really does. You just listen to him speak in these press conferences.
Sincere.
And you just can't help but think this kid has earned everything that's come to him. He's done it in a great humble way. I mean, he's just the antithesis of Diego Pavia, who just seems so arrogant and spoiled and
I was so
chip on his shoulder.
My Hawkeyes took care of his cocky ass.
Yes, they did. In Raymond James. Did you go to that game, Mike?
I was there.
Yeah, here's how my life has gone the last year.
Oof.
But it was 9 degrees. I was back in Iowa with my grandchildren and my children, which I'd rather take. But my sons were like, Pops, the first chance. I mean, we had access to great tickets.
They were great seats.
Oh, were they? Thanks for.
Yeah, they were club, but they were nice.
I got great tickets. I was working on media, sideline passes. I had everything I ever wanted. But grandkids, of course, rule, and it was fun.
Still saw a
It was
great game.
fun sitting around with a bunch of Hawkeye fans, though, up north and watching it.
That's great. Well, I think we're going to get a great national championship on Monday. I think the key to watch is the run game for Miami. If they can lean on Mark Fletcher, take the pressure off of Carson Beck, I think they can hang around with that Indiana offense. And I think the D-line is going to be very important. They got to put pressure on Mendoza, and they got to force him to make throws that he's not comfortable making, because he has been so good on the run this year. He's been so good picking up yardage in plays that have been looking like they're dead and broken down. I think that's going to be the two things that I'm going to be hoping for if the Canes want to keep it close. But Indiana has looked like a wagon all season. They've handled business all season. I don't think that's going to necessarily change, but at least I can talk myself into some home field advantage and hope for the Canes, leaning on that experience with their 26-year-old quarterback.
Hey, one last thing, because you are in the Bay Area, what's the vibe on this the Seattle and of course Niners game?
Well, my vibe was Week 18, hoping the Niners would win that game so they could host this game today, and I could go to it. But unfortunately, we don't get that, so couldn't add that into the trip. But I would say the 49ers fans are looking pretty confident right now, because I don't know if you've seen the reports coming out about Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
hasn't thrown a football. His oblique
3 days he
is
hasn't thrown a football.
causing major issues. I remember Josh Lowe, a guy named who just unfortunately got traded for the Rays, having a lot of oblique issues and talking about how difficult it was to swing a baseball bat. I can't imagine being a quarterback trying to use your torque of your body to throw a football and have an oblique injury and not even be able to practice ahead of time for this Niners team who's playing with all house money. I mean, they have apparently electromagnetic waves under their stadium. I don't know if you saw that story that caught fire on Twitter about how there's extended injuries in the Bay Area because of this transformer that's next to the practice facility for the
that power
49ers.
plant.
Really?
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Ben, tell them about that in the next segment. It is a ridiculous
Yeah,
story.
the power plant,
But,
man. It's sending those waves through them.
What the hell?
Correct. Yeah. George Kittle's got a torn ACL. McCaffrey's they had to send him to Germany to get knee surgeries and things like that. But it's because of this power plant that's apparently turning all these players into mutants or
That
something.
explains
I don't
how.
know.
That explains.
What in the hell?
That explains how Brock Purdy's so successful.
Hey, don't
Good
be
cycling.
going there. That's my Iowa State boy. All right.
Hey, yeah, that's Matt Campbell's product. That's Matt Campbell,
That's
baby.
correct, my man. Alex Reba.
All right.
As always, you're the best, my man. We appreciate you. We're now video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and we're going to increase this. So we need your pretty face over here. It took them about an hour in the makeup room to get me ready for this first broadcast. So we need you to come on over and bring that beauty, and she can give us a little recap of her love for the U, I guess. Now that we got the championship.
She's
game.
just rooting for all the Cuban Americans. So
There we
I
go.
am too.
Yep.
We'll hopefully get a great natty, and I will definitely be over there soon and looking forward to it, Mike.
All right. He is, of course, Alex Reba does a superb job. Brought to you by our good friends at Body Armor, Coca-Cola Beverages, and of course, Ice Pick Vodka, Sea Dogs Brewery, where I was down there a couple times this week. We're building the studio down there on the T, Florida. We're moving to Wednesday nights right here on RadioSt.Pete.com and Florida Sports Streams, as well as on our video streaming, and we're looking forward to that and adding some new shows. And I'll give you a little tease. Ray's going to do what he loves to do, and we're going to have a podcast, Ferg Sports and Entertainment Podcast, and it's going to be all over the place. And who better to do that than our own Ray Kennedy? But I know you guys have been waiting with bated breath.
Here we go.
And now it's time to talk the brightest spot right now in Tampa Bay, and that is our Tampa Bay Lightning, and he's our own Wyatt Ross, and our Bolts update. What's going on, young man?
Nothing too much. Just excited to cover this hot streak that the Lightning have been on.
I'll tell
Unfortunately,
you what, they didn't get that 12th one last night. 11 in a row, still stays the record. But
The Lightning seems to be working. Well, I was gonna say the electrical waves don't seem to be affecting.
it's not a problem.
It's
there.
not affecting the
You
Lightning.
know why? Because it's in the stadium and not
Yeah.
outside the practice
Correct.
facility.
And
So
it's coming underneath. See, we're turning into the Joe Rogan podcast
Here we
here,
go.
where we're talking.
This is working for me because you guys have already talked about.
Well, we've got Wyatt Ross on our video podcast.
Oh,
Wave at us, brother. We'll wave back at you. There he is, Wyatt
I've
Ross.
never seen Wyatt before.
We don't have any audio. We got to get him on the audio here, and so
If Wyatt could talk, what he's going to tell you
he'll be reaching out to Tristan, and we'll get him on the audio here.
What Wyatt's going to tell us is that they got in the shootout, their guy literally came to a stop and did a little side dance and ended up getting to Vasilevsky's right side, and then of course Kucherov on the second to last, because we had to make that shot. It was our last shot, our third shot. We don't get it. It's not so much I'm not excited. Would have gotten 12, new team record, 13, keep it going right up to the stadium on February 1st when we're going to have that huge party out there at Raymond James.
Yeah, Sea Dogs Brewery, Shipyard Brewing.
Yeah,
And you got us tickets, right, Mike?
Yeah,
Yeah, to the tailgate.
partying. Hey, you know what's been you and I, and then we can stay while they're in the game. We're sober up.
There we
So
go.
got this.
Yeah, Ray sobering up when he gets on a roll.
We'll get on the ice.
Ben sober. You haven't seen Ben when he gets on a roll. There ain't sobering him up.
No, but
Game
I'm
on.
gonna get on the ice, Mike.
Game
I'm
on.
gonna get on the ice. And here's the thing, too. Don't forget, we played that stadium series the first. 2 days later, we played the Sabres. We finished that week off against the Florida stinking Panthers. And then it's the Olympics. 11 of the Lightning players are playing for their respective countries.
God, I keep
in the
forgetting
Olympics.
the Olympics are coming up.
February 6th. We're less than a little over 2 weeks. It's exciting.
Where are the Olympics this year?
Milan, Italy.
Ooh.
See,
Oh,
we are
fancy.
ciao.
Where you been? You had your head in the sand.
I'm not a big Olympics guy, Mike. I get bored with it.
This time
What do you mean you get bored with it?
Yeah,
It's us against the world, dude.
Ben, they have table
God
tennis.
bless America.
The Summer Olympics have table tennis.
It's the broadcast. It's the way NBC does
What's
the
that?
whole thing. It's just they
I
do.
don't.
They do
Well, now they brought Snoop Dogg into
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Well, it's a time change.
and Kevin Hart, and I don't care about Kevin Hart. He's one of the worst comedians out there. So I don't want to listen to this guy anymore.
Racist.
Yeah, that's
The guy that
that's
went.
it.
The guy that went to Savannah State.
No, if they
course
get
not.
Dave Chappelle out there, I'd be thrilled.
Wait, since
but
we've
Kevin
went-
Hart,
you've
he's
mentioned-
cheesy.
You've mentioned Rogan in politics, and let's talk about the little people wrestling again, because we might as well take this all the way
now
around
that
the
was
clock.
now that was fun last night. I'll tell you what, I was over at OCC for it, and
Midget wrestling.
yeah, the midget
Call has been
wrestling.
forwarded to voicemail.
It was
The person you're
absolutely
trying to reach is not a-
spectacular. I was there.
Micro wrestling.
Yeah, I
you
was
go.
there. My friends over at Freedom
OCC?
Yeah, I was there.
I'm
with-
getting them on as an advertiser.
Oh, that'd be great. I was there with my friends
down
from
with
Freedom
OCC?
Subfloor, and they actually paid for me to have VIP tickets
What?
ringside.
Oh.
And these guys were awesome.
You were ringside?
I was ringside. Yeah, my buddies they own Freedom Subfloor, and they paid for all of us right up front. And oh my God, it was insane. I got to see a double clam slam. These female wrestlers, they came over and they just dropped it on the male counterparts that they came out with, and it was a spectacular show.
Well, not as spectacular as our Lightning. And now we've got Wyatt Ross and with our Bolts preview. What's going on, young man?
I'm just happy to be able to be heard now. Look forward to cover this hot streak the Lightning been on. Unfortunately, technically ended last night. Still got a point out of it, but 11 games in a row is nothing to laugh at. That's for sure.
Takes us back to 2020, February, when they had the 11 in a row then, and coming out now. And Wyatt, not a tough team. We got a couple of games coming up. I was just talking about the fact that we have the Stadium Series the first, then we have Buffalo, and we finished that Friday against the stinking Panthers before the Olympic break. What kind of
Stinking
The
Panthers.
stinking Panthers. What kind of a Lightning team have you seen this year opposed to last year when we got bounced out by these Panthers because of a lack of toughness?
Well, I think this team, adding Gordon Bjorkstrand at the deadline last year was definitely huge. And I think getting them to have a full season under their belt is definitely going to be something that we can look forward to. But the other thing I want to point out, I feel like almost coming out of nowhere, some could argue our best, if not a top two defenseman this year has been Darren Radich. I mean, he has taken over for the Lightning and filling in for Hedman at that spot. He's got 41 points in 40 games. And when you have guys getting production like that, and you still got guys like Gage Gonzalez taking a step up this year, J.J. Moser getting an extension for a reason, I think when you have a veteran team like this and you have all those guys putting in the effort, Kucherov, 69 points in 42 games, I mean, you can't beat that. I think this team can really come together and make a run. And also, I think it has to do with Florida's not as good this year as they were last year. They lost a lot of guys in free agency. Yeah, they got a lot of guys back, but they also have a lot of guys with injury. So I think that Florida, I don't think that they're going to make it three-peat. I'll just put that out there right now. And I think that a different team is going to step up and take over. And I don't think it should be, can we match that talent from last year? I think it should more so be, can we be the best this year?
And why? Also, I wanted to ask you this because I go back to when we first started playing this Detroit Red Wing type of hockey under Steve Yzerman when he first became our GM. And the last few years now, Brisebois, this team, they've got fantastic, but then we traded away Stammer and what's going on. It seems like this team's depending less on putting passes on the stick and passing it 30 or 40 times, where lately, from what I've been seeing, they're pressing it more right inside going on the net. Is that a result of the better defensive play they're getting, or is it they're actually making an emphasis more on that offensive pressure?
I think it's a mixture of both. Obviously, we're getting a much better defensive play, even with Hedman out for the foreseeable future. I think I did want to say he should be coming back in the beginning of February. They're saying he might be back for the Stadium Series at Raymond James, which would be huge for us. But I think it's also been a coaching emphasis because a lot of the years the biggest complaint with the Lightning is they're so skilled. They have so many guys that they want to make these fancy plays and they keep on pass the buck, especially on power plays. Everyone was always saying they pass it 20 times and they don't even get 2 shots off. So I think it's been a coaching emphasis as well as being more comfortable with who's on the back end, bringing in Ryan McDonough 2 years ago, Darren Radish stepping up, still having a guy like Hedman back there, Moser being brought in at the draft 2 years ago, I believe it was. I think it's a mixture of both, and I think it's just really starting to show between the veterans and the young guys that they can get it done and they can adapt to new styles.
100%. And do you have your tickets yet for that Stadium Series game that day, Wyatt, or are you just going to work?
Of course he does.
You're going to be at the tailgate we're going to have over there too?
I do have tickets to that game, and so some news might be coming out about that as well. But I can't say anything yet, but I will be at the Stadium Series.
Brother.
Sure.
So I'm going to read in between the lines here. So you're going to be given an opportunity to do some kind of broadcasting, I'm assuming. So you don't have to say yes or no. But what I am going to tell you that I need from you is get there early enough because we're going to have a tailgate party with Sea Dogs, Ice Pick Vodka, and a video producing company that a friend of mine, Billy Mayfair, has called Dirty Water. If you Google him, he was a producer with ESPN, and he will be shooting what we're doing, and it'll be a nice exposure for you on the Boston Bruin network. And so we'll get you there early. Then you go inside and do your gig.
That sounds like a plan. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get a good win against Boston there. But we can't look over these next few teams coming up. We got a rough schedule in these last 2 weeks before the Stadium Series.
Well, I got to ask you, 11 of our Lightning make it to the Olympics, sponsoring or playing for their respective countries, and most of the entire National Hockey League. The first time getting back in, I think, since 2014 at the NHL's back in these Olympics. Are we just holding our breath now? Because things are going really great. Now we're going to take a couple of weeks off, but also are you looking forward to the seeing the Lightning that will be competing there in Milan, or is there any other thing you'd like to see there out of the Olympics with regards to hockey or
curling,
anything?
baby, curling.
Curling.
I do like curling. That's pretty cool.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not going to come on this show and lie to you guys. I'm not going to make a false facade. Unfortunately, I do think with having that many players in the Olympics, they're not going to get that break that they usually get for the All-Star break. I do think that it's going to show in the weeks coming up after the Olympics. And I think it's a good opportunity for all of them. Obviously, I'm not sure if Braden Point is going to be able to play for Canada yet, but getting Sorelli out there, getting Hagel out there, and everything, it's going to be huge for the players themselves representing their countries.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's the key thing, and I don't think that they're able to keep this. I would prove me wrong. Having that many, I think it's definitely going to show.
Well, Wyatt, we know you're a multi-sport guy. We just got done talking to Alex Reba, who is a diehard Penn State fan as you are. We haven't talked to you so long. Were you excited about my man, of course, Matt Campbell taking over the helm?
I think he is a fantastic coach. There's a reason that NFL teams were going after him, and I think it's great that he's going to a program such as Penn State. And obviously, when you look at the transfer portal in the new era of college football, you got to compete in the transfer portal if you want to compete on the field. I mean, even a team such as Clemson with Dabo Swinney, he kind of rejected the portal at first, and they just went 7-6 this year, losing to my Penn State Nittany Lions in the Pinstripe Bowl. But when you look at the transfer portal class that Campbell's been able to bring in with all of his Iowa State players, I think it's definitely a testament to him as a coach. All those guys not jumping ship and wanting to follow him as a coach because they're committed to him as a person. And I think that he's definitely going to be able to build a good program at Penn State. and maybe we can win some big games now. Maybe we can beat Ohio State for the first time since 2016, and make it past the semifinals of the college football playoff. I think that can definitely be achieved under Matt Campbell.
I would tell you guys, they absolutely gutted Iowa State. 40
Oh,
some
boy.
players got in the portal and are gone. And my good friend Dan McCarney, that we have on quite often, who built that program in the 90s, I talked to him down in Sarasota. He was just ready to puke. But that's what you're dealing with. 40 players gone, Johnson. Can you imagine,
Oh,
Ben?
yeah.
It's insane.
Well,
I actually
go ahead.
I actually can't imagine, because it's hard being on the other side of it, being a USF fan. I think we lost like 20 players to Auburn following Alex Golesh, but I'm very excited.
I hope that eagle falls out of the sky at the 50-yard line next year. Okay, and that's not because
Say that in front of Charles Barkley.
That's not because of the 250th anniversary of our nation's independence and the eagle being our thing, but I hope that thing goes to fly in and just falls on Alex Golesh's head.
I don't know.
Well said without profanity.
Thank you.
I'll take the other end of this. I think when you have a guy like Byron Brown on that team, he played 4 years at USF. I think it might have even been 5. I know he redshirted his freshman year. He graduated from USF. I will admit, I'm going to be cheering for him wherever he ended up.
I am too.
And, I'm going to be cheering for Auburn. I love Byron Brown. I love Keyshawn Singleton, who they brought over there. Even our younger guys, Jeremiah Coger, Christian Neptune, Nakai Davenport. I want all those guys to succeed. And as much as I do think that Golesh is a little bit of a traitor on us, I think we got the better end of the deal with Brian Hartline. I mean, obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen the transfer portal class that he's bringing in.
Yeah.
Michael Van Buren from LSU, Luke Kromenhoek, I think is how you pronounce it, from Mississippi State. Get a little good quarterback battle there. I think that USF's going to compete. And as long as USF isn't left under the bus, which Golesh did kind of do that to us, I'm going to be cheering for the USF players, not necessarily the coach.
Well, and notice I went after the eagle, not the players, because I'm kind of rooting for them too,
That's
and I
true.
love Byron Brown. But yeah, thanks, Wyatt.
Way to clarify that. Cover your CYA, cover your ass. All right. He's our own Wyatt Ross. He does a superb job. We'll be talking to you about the strategy for February 1st. And, of course, Ray Kennedy will be heading that up. I'll be over there as well. And that's brought to our good friends at Sea Dogs, Ice Pick Vodka, and Shipyard Brewing. All right, my man. Thanks very much. We're looking forward to the future. You are our first guest on the video stream. So there's a first for your resume.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't know I was going to be the first guest on, making history here.
Well, you're a good-looking, pretty young man, and bringing a lot of talent to our airwaves and our video streaming waves. Thanks, man. Have a great week.
You as well, and as always, go Bolts.
Go Bolts. All right, now we're going to make that 12 o'clock transition. It's the second hour of the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection. We're live on video and video streaming as well at radiostpete.com, floridasportstreams.com, and, of course, on YouTube today. And in the future, we'll be on YouTube as well as Facebook. Got our man Adam Fernandez at the control. I've got Jake the Snake on the board as well, and then Tristan's doing a superb job. And now it's time to transition. We're going to have the CCC boys basketball program. We've got representatives, and immediately after that, we're going to talk to, and I know a gentleman this young man knows, we're going to talk to Chris Harvey, the head coach, as he heads down to Miami to watch his Hurricanes do battle against the Indiana Hoosiers. And this brought to you by our good friends at Body Armor, Coca-Cola, sponsor with PrimetimePreps.com, all of our conversations in the world of high school sports. And we'll turn it over to our director of high school sports, Brad Richardson. Fellas, just talk nice and loud. You don't need headphones. Share that microphone, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. And thank you very much for coming down, Coach, and bringing them on this Saturday.
You know, Mike, before we introduce them and all that, aren't they the first high school team on this show for 2026 and all?
That's right. Hey, here's the CCC, baby.
Welcome to the show.
I hate to say this, but Harvey has converted me, and I shouldn't take favorites doing this for a living, but he has converted me that I'm a over-the-top CCC guy now. I went to a Catholic school and watching what you guys do and the success the program has, but I also saw your football schedule for 26, and it's a buzzsaw. You saw it.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's
All right, Bradley.
All right, hey, of course, welcome to our Coca-Cola Body Armor studio, Ice Pick Vodka studios as well.
Well, you don't throw vodka in there when you got kids under 18 in there.
Yeah.
Body armor.
Body armor, of course, all the way.
Dang.
Hey, come on. So anyway.
Help yourself, fellas, by the way.
Absolutely, yes, somewhere right here. Welcome, of course, the CCC Marauders boys basketball team. Coach Jim Yarbrough couldn't be here with us today, but we'll introduce some of the other coaches and, of course, some own CCC alumni and fans. So, guys, good afternoon. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, hang on. We're getting a mic adjusted right now. So guys, we're going to start down the line here. I want you guys to introduce yourself, what year you are, and what position you play.
I'm Eli Wilson, class of 2026. I play combo guard.
Turn that mic around, young man, where the cloud's at. There you go.
Right here.
Nice,
There we go. There you
nice
go.
and loud.
All right.
Combo guard.
Eli Wilson, class of 2026,
There you go,
combo
brother.
guard.
Brody Church, class of 2026, and I play point guard. I play all around.
I guarantee you don't call out plays that low.
Nah.
A little bit louder. Your family's listening, your friends, yeah.
All right, it's Brody Church, class of 2026.
There you go.
Class of 2026, and I play all around. I play point guard. I play big man. I play whatever the team needs.
You're the utility man. I like that.
I'm Chris Starter, class of 2026, and I'm a forward and versatile all around.
Okay. I'm Nels Angelillis. I'm class of 2027. I'm a shooting guard. I can get rebounds. I can do a lot of stuff. So.
I like that confidence.
All righty. And, of course, the man on the end here. We got one more
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
end.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
come on. Let's not forget him. Come on.
Don't shut Coach out. And you got a microphone. You can move over there as well, too.
Oh, we can move this one now.
Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Aaron Hannon. I'm the assistant coach for our basketball team and these four great young men. Thank you for having us. We're very excited.
Absolutely.
By the way, that is a cool lid you got there, my man. I want one of those.
All right. Well, hey, guys, once, of course, welcome to the show and everything. So on this beautiful Saturday at Ferg Sports Bar Grill. So, guys, you guys have had a pretty good season so far, 13-5. Let me ask you this. For the season, what was Coach's goal for you guys? Obviously, to go as far as you can, go the distance. But what was one of the things he wanted to do to make this season successful?
He wants us to play team basketball, and he just wants us to go as far as we can. Like, we're trying to go to states this year. We're trying to have a big year because we got a couple new players from different schools, and we're trying to really combine and, yeah, go to states this year.
All right. We're going to toss it down to you, man. Tell me, what makes CCC basketball so successful? What makes you have pride about being a Marauder?
What makes us so successful is, like, we really, like, crank down on, like, what we got to do. Like, for example, Coach said we got to amp up our defense. We got to stay consistent on it. And once we all dial in, really, like, motivate each other, pick each other up, we follow through with that, and we get stuff done.
All right, awesome. So one thing I do want to know, too, is, of course, during the holidays, you guys played at the Keswick tournament, correct? So it was a tough tournament for you guys, but what was one of the things you took away from some of the teams that you played there? Obviously, Tampa Prep was one of them. What was one of the things you saw with those guys? What made them such a tough team when you played them?
They had a motor. They just kept going. We got in some trouble that game, but we really kept like trying to push and push on, and we learned a lot from that game. We learned that we need to really play all 32 minutes of the game. We can't just let down. And if we did play all 32 minutes of that game, really like going at them, I think we would have had a different outcome.
All right. So one thing I want to talk about too is how many of you guys, by the way, I know there's a couple transfers and all that. Who's been on the team all 4 years at CCC? None of us? Oh, okay. So what brought you guys over to CCC? What was about
success?
Yeah, success, of course, is one thing. But, of course, what was one of the things that with Coach Yarbrough encouraging you guys to come over and play?
I know he was a great coach. I did a little background check, and he coached.
A background check?
Wait, whoa. There's a 17-year-old doing a background check. Man, this world has changed. What school did you come from?
J.W. Mitchell High School.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You were a Mustang at one point, huh?
Yeah. But came over, saw the great things that he's done with the specific players that's been over at CC before, and I was like, I think I should continue my high school career over here.
All right,
I'm glad you didn't do a background check on me.
What about you, Brody?
I came over to CCC. I came over to CCC 2 years ago. It was actually my junior year. So at the start of my junior year, I came here for I wasn't doing that well at Eastlake, so I came here to like improve my academics. And the sports was just all around better at CCC, so I wanted to just improve myself and get to know new people and everything. Like I just feel like everything there has been better for me. And yeah.
You play football too.
Yeah,
or you're
yeah,
just
I play
wearing the-
football.
Just wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm just wearing the T-shirt, but.
Alrighty. Well, what about you, man? Well, what brought you down, Eli? Come on.
Coach Y, he's a great coach. Academics too. I came from Mitchell as well with Chris. We came over together.
You guys gutted Mitchell.
Oh, hey, Mike, come on. Be nice.
Well,
be nice.
These guys are studs. They're probably like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah.
So yeah, I saw the success in the academic side of CCC as well as Coach Y as a coach. I wanted to end off my senior year with a great coach that would prepare me for the next level, and he's in the process of doing that now.
You know, I want to ask real quick. Obviously, this is your guys' senior year. Has anybody committed yet? Yes or no? I've seen. By the way, the reason I ask is I've seen on a lot of your guys' Twitter page. I've gotten this call from this team, this call from this team. But has anybody signed any documents yet?
No, we're currently all uncommitted.
All uncommitted. Oh wow. Within the next month or two, will we know something? Or
for sure. Yes,
for sure. So it'll be all over CCC, Instagram, Twitter, and everything.
We'll have you back down and have that conversation as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, all right. So, Coach, on the end, are you, real quick, are you an alumni of CCC as well?
I'm not. I actually went to Berkeley Prep over in Tampa, but
A little bit of success there
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great program.
We were pretty good when I was there, thankfully, but yeah, CCC has been great. Coach Y and I have been there together for all 3 years, and we've built a competitive program, and we continue to do so. And thanks to these guys and the support from the school, so it's been great.
All right, guys, I got to know who was the loudest on the court whenever a game is going on? Is it Coach Yarborough or is it Coach down there on the end?
Definitely Coach Y.
Oh, okay, really. So he's not one that holds.
When
his
you're
cool.
the big dog, you better be, right?
Exactly. But hey, we know coaches, Mike, that are very calm, collective, and this, they let their assistant coaches do the talking because they know
And
afterwards.
they're tennis coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So, what's one of the things that what's some of the best advice that you guys have gotten for Coach Yarborough since you guys have been on the team? And I'm talking about like success for life that going forward because y'all are leaving, you're done. What's been the one thing that he's told you, like, this is why you're going to be successful in life and going into college? Oh, come on. Oh, okay. So
I'd say Coach Y has always told me.
No, you go first.
No, he doesn't.
Go first.
I say Coach Y has always told me to just like never stop working. Like he's always taught me to like hard work pays off. So as long as you put in the work, all your work's gonna show, and you'll be able to do whatever you want.
Everything you do in life.
Yeah,
Take it from an
that's
OG
everything.
here. Go ahead, young man. Right into the mic.
This one. He always talks about like how we have a limited amount of time left, and like take every day as like take it for granted, because you don't know when your journey of basketball is gonna end. Make sure like you savor the time that's left. That's why.
all right, awesome. So, you guys definitely have a tough schedule for you. Obviously, you guys just played Tampa Prep in the tournament. You guys did play, I'm going to say their name, Cardinal Mooney. All right. So, when going forward in the final times, by the way, did you guys have senior night yet or no? No. That'll be the final game? Oh, the Tuesday. Oh, so that's going to be an emotional time for you. This will be it.
And don't say it won't, because it will. I don't
it
care.
It's going to be emotional.
Senior night is always an emotional night. You know that, Coach.
Did all your parents say they're going to cry and all that? Mom and Dad said they're going to cry?
They say they're not going to, and they may not in front of you. But take it from a guy that had sons that played at different levels, and there'll be emotion. There'll be tears. Might be in the car so you don't see them.
Well, Eli, actually, one big thing real quick. You were selected as all tournament in the Keswick Christian tournament, right? Yes, sir. Awesome. All right, so when you get that award, every time you get an award like that, how does it make you feel? Do you feel like, hey, just one thing, or it's like, okay, well, now the other guy's got to step up?
Yeah. Well, when I get an award like that, it's showing that it tells me that my hard work's paying off. It inspires me to keep going once I get an award like that. And yeah, that's really it.
Are you a multi-sport athlete, or you work in basketball all year round?
Just basketball.
Oh, really? So actually, we'll go down the line there. Tell us, how did basketball start for you guys? What was your journey and everything?
So I'm not from here. Me and Eli were both from West Virginia. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Really?
So He moved down here
Coach
first.
Harvey come up and pull you out of West Virginia.
So I
Damn,
started-
I didn't know he was doing recruiting that far away.
So yeah, we grew up in West Virginia, and I started playing basketball when I was about like 3 or 4, and I think my dad played basketball all through high school and a little bit in college. And
Where did you go to college at?
he went to a school at WVU Tech. It was just a little school in Montgomery, West Virginia, but he wanted me to play basketball, and I fell in love with it from a young age, and I just kept on pursuing my happiness with basketball. And I love football too, but
We'll see what happens.
yeah, we'll
right?
see what happens.
Exactly. Going down the line.
What are you playing football?
I played I played
Oh, talking to the mic. Not done yet.
I played receiver all throughout high school, but this last year they had me move to tight end.
Gotcha.
Just because they did well.
All right. What about you, bud?
I started basketball in like 7th grade, like 8th grade here. But at first,
late bloomer.
at first I was playing soccer in like 6th grade, but I was a fat little big ball kid.
You were?
Yeah.
That soccer burned a
little bit.
the bounds
yeah.
out.
Yeah. So I got a little taller, so my family was like, "You can't play soccer anymore. You got to pick up a basketball." So I was like, "Okay."
Well,
so
you had the footwork.
yeah.
Soccer.
Yeah. So 7th grade, I just started playing like YMCA basketball, just going up and down the court. 8th grade year, I tried out, and I made the team. And then I really like just playing basketball. I was a really competitive person, so playing basketball, played it. It was fun, and I just kept playing it ever since.
I like that story.
All right, man. What about you? What's your story?
So I started playing basketball. Maybe I was like 9 or 10 years old. I played safety harbor rec.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just liked it a lot. But growing up, I was always a multi-sport athlete. I played baseball, soccer. I used to do swimming for a little bit.
Are you going to do baseball this year?
No, but I am gonna probably do lacrosse.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. They do
Really?
have a lacrosse team.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to join that. I'm gonna see.
That looks like a cool sport.
Yeah,
Definitely a tough sport and all that.
yeah,
So.
definitely. But then I just like basketball more than all the rest of the sports, so I just started pursuing that, and then I don't know, I just liked it a lot, so that's based on my story.
All right, Coach, on the end too. What's your basketball story? When did you start playing?
Yeah, give me that.
You guys having a hard time with that.
Yeah,
figuring out
that's
that
all right.
microphone.
We're struggling.
That's right for you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's the coach's mic.
Right, exactly. I started playing when I was really little. I was around 4 or 5 years old is when I started playing in like rec leagues at the Y. And then as I grew up, I played golf, I played hockey, but I just loved basketball so much that I continued to play. And then when the ball stopped bouncing, it was like a little part of my heart was gone. So I started coaching while I was still in college in South Carolina and fell in love with it. And when I moved back for grad school after I graduated during COVID, I decided that I would coach AAU. And I actually met some of these jamokes doing that.
Jamotes.
When they were like in 6th grade. So I've known a couple of them for a pretty long time, and watching them grow has been phenomenal and become, go from children to young men.
I got a question. What's your golf game? Is your golf game still in shape?
You can ask Eli. I beat him at Top Golf the other day.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
no, he didn't.
But it's all right. My golf game's okay. During the season, it takes a
Something you
dramatic
can play
bump.
the rest of your life.
Yes, sir.
Remember that. If you don't like golf, get into it as you get older.
Yeah, it's interesting. Always with CCC, of course, Coach Harvey being the guy he is, and just everything he says, and just how he riles up all the student body, and just get everybody on board. Guys, I got to know. Tell me about just the student section. Everybody in there. It's a community. It's a family. Tell me how they've always been a support for you guys.
Yeah, the student section, they show out every game, and we're just really appreciative for like how many people come to our games and like the spirit they have for the entire games, and we all love it, and it helps us like energize us the entire game.
Remember, Brad, the girls told us that Coach Harvey makes certain that the students and the football team get out to watch them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's been something I know with a lot of like home games and all that, they've have like a theme for the night. Like you have like a whiteout. What's been one of the best ones they've done so far?
I'd say honestly, I think the whiteout has been the best one because everybody they either put like white shirts on and they just all show out, and it looks cool.
One that I always love with some teams that they do is whenever the visiting team would come in, they all would hold up newspapers.
Yeah.
That was always my favorite one to watch. So
They still do that? That's old school. You guys don't even know what a newspaper is.
Yeah.
Maybe like cutting out our faces.
You hold up your phones. Yeah.
But yeah, actually, we'll head down to you guys. So I got to know: does any of the parents or the fans have like those big cutout heads of you guys that they wave in the stand? No, you don't.
That would be.
Your
Your parents do.
Yeah, for football they did.
Okay, yeah.
But they don't do it in the gym. They don't do it in there.
I don't know. Maybe for senior night they'll do it, but
Wow.
By the way, who are you guys playing on senior night?
Nah, Pinellas Park.
we're not playing.
Playing PP.
Pinellas Park.
It's this Tuesday. It's River Ridge.
River Ridge. Okay. Coach says that and all that. What about you, buddy? Tell me about how you feel about with the student section being so energetic and all that. Does it rile you up to get better on the court?
It's great. Like if you make a three, they go jumping, start waving, whatever they got, and it's like it just makes you get more energy. It makes you want to do it again and again. So
That's
it's
the
just great
beauty
having
of
that environment.
CCC, that school pride.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Team over me. Does that apply for everything? And yeah, I mean that's Coach Harvey's thing and all, but yeah, team over me for sure. So, what about you, buddy? What gets you riled up? What did they ever say anything? Did they ever chant anything in the stands? And it's like, okay, I gotta get it. I gotta get with this. I gotta keep going.
Chance. I mean, sometimes they like scream our names when we're coming out for lineups and stuff. Another thing that CCC plays like great music when our warm up.
Oh,
so, I don't
okay.
know, so like our warm ups kind of get me pumped up for the game. Just yeah, it gets pretty nuts in there. So.
Alrighty.
So
So
they got a nice playlist.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
I
okay.
probably got the same playlist, I'm sure. My Jeep. Yeah.
So, but actually, by the way, I was going to ask. Obviously, there's two different playlists, but obviously, there's always a way to get hyped. So, before a game, what's the most? Who runs the playlist? By the way, who runs it?
Coach Everhart,
Coach-
Mr. Everhart.
Okay, and what artists are usually played?
I don't know. They got that Lil Uzi Vert bumping sometimes.
Oh, really?
Listening to the one in the locker room.
Oh yeah.
maybe.
The one in the locker room.
Are we not allowed to talk about?
They play that young boy.
Okay, all right. I heard one there. I heard one of them. So, what? All right. So now, game day tradition. There's always those and everything. So, first of all, when you guys are there at game day, is there anything you guys are required to wear, like a suit or anything like that?
It's the 21st century.
I know, but hey, some football players, some teams do that and all that. So,
Yeah, like
I don't think these guys would transfer if they had to wear suits.
Yeah.
no,
Hey.
sometimes like khakis and just something like CCC really all the time.
oh, okay, cool. All right. So then all right. So going into game day, you know, when you're in the locker room and everything, is it mostly, is it really ruckus or is it kind of just like laid back and calm?
Well, we got a bunch of we got a bunch of younger kids on our team, so they usually like it's a bunch of ruckus.
Yeah, a
most
little
of
bit
the
of
time.
ruckus.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. And then finally, who is the biggest clown here? Who gets everybody riled up for a game? There's got to be one person. There's always
You gotta
one
be
person.
careful how you say clown.
Hey. Yeah, get you guys really hyped before you head out.
Cameron Andre.
What does he do? What does he do?
Cameron Andre.
What does he do?
He does everything.
Yeah.
Does everything.
He's just a clown.
That personality, you know.
Yeah, he's got like he's just the man that hypes us up.
He has a goofy personality.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So, all right. So now, obviously, with going forward, what's going to be one of the teams that you feel is going to be a challenge to face off? If you guys can think of one.
Northside.
Okay, Coach Mo and all that. Yeah. So, what's going to be tough about them from your guys' perspective?
They play fast, they're big, and they got some talented players. So we gotta just step up to the challenge.
All right. So, all right. So now, actually, Mike, if you want to intervene, go ahead and all that. I know you have your questions that you like to do. So,
Well, Coach Harvey's blowing up my phone over here, but he probably has some words of wisdom for you fellas. But anyway, I always want to make sure everybody gets some mic time. Do a shout out to anybody at home. You can't forget them. We archive this on Spotify so they can listen. So, family members, siblings, anybody that's helped you get where you are right now.
You know, mom, dad, shout out y'all.
What's their names?
Judd and Amanda.
Gotcha.
Shout out because you guys brought me to every sports thing when I was younger. You guys have missed like very few games in my lifetime. You guys have just always been there, supported me. All the AU, all the money that you guys have spent on me, it's been really fun. So thank you for that.
Bravo. And then, no, you're not done yet. Everybody hates this question. Got a girlfriend?
I used to, but
That's a good answer during the.
no distraction.
That's a good answer during the season. No distraction. Hit her up after the season's over.
No.
right.
All right. Anybody at home?
Yeah, my mom Marie and my brother Sean. They've been helping me out always with transportation. I've always been living far from things, so they've been taking the liberty just to drive me places hours away. So really, really ups on them. Thank you.
Bravo.
And coaches, every single coach that's coached me. All of them.
Girlfriend?
Nah.
No.
There was hesitation in
Oh,
that.
I had to think about that.
Okay, good. You don't want. They don't need now. If
No,
you,
no stress.
now if you have one and you're kicking ass, obviously it's a good thing. But stay focused. You got plenty of time for that.
All right, Brody.
All right, I just want to shout out my my parents for sure. They pretty much provide anything I
Their names?
need. Stacy and Brandon Church, and my brother Bryson. And I'd also like to shout out my grandparents. My grandparents have always been there when I was like at my low, and even when I'm at my highs, they're always supporting me no matter what. And they, they give me a lot
That's
of money.
important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And my cousins and everything. I appreciate y'all for everything y'all done for me. And yeah,
It's all about family.
that's all about family.
Girlfriend?
No.
All right.
I like this
3
team,
for 4.
Coach.
3 for
3
4.
out of 4 so far. What? Plenty of time, fellas. Plenty of time.
All right, buddy. Go for it.
I'd like to shout out to my mom and dad, of course, Todd Wilson and Brianna Wilson. My dad's done a lot for our family. Growing up as a military kid,
What branch?
Army. He started out in the Navy, but he went to Army. Now he's retired.
Okay.
So, yeah, always been a
Little bit of discipline in your house.
disciplined household, strict household. So I grew up, kind of strict. He always put me in my place, especially with sports too.
Success.
Yeah, success. Now that I'm older, I like that he was hard on me when I was younger. Same with my mom. It's got me to the point I am today. Also, a shout out to my brother. He plays football for the CCC team. He's helped me with a lot. We were gonna play basketball together this year, but he tore his ACL, unfortunately.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and that's really it.
Girlfriend?
No.
All right, 4 for 4.
4 for 4.
Coach is probably happy. No distractions here.
Nice work, fellas.
All right.
Women hate me. You know what? Bottom line is you got the rest of your life, and enjoy this. Stay focused, and I really appreciate you coming down. Coach, how about in your world? You're young. Who do you want to do a shout out to that has been instrumental in your life?
Kind of echo all of them. My parents, Laura and Jack, my grandmother, Patty, Coach Y, obviously, because without him, none of us would be sitting in these seats. He's a great guy. He's a great coach. He's taught all of us a lot. And I know these guys are going to miss him when they're gone. Yeah, all the players that have come through the program have done a phenomenal job at just letting us coach them. And it's helped us turn the program into something that people fear. And that's kind of what we want to do. So we'll continue to work on it and go from there.
All right,
How about your status, Coach? Can I put you on the hot seat?
Very single.
That's why. That's leadership.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Lead by
Stay
example.
focused. All right, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
CCC coming on down. And then we got Coach Harvey is blowing up our phone. We're going to be talking to him soon. But thank you very much, guys. Get a picture with Bradley, and appreciate you coming down. Good luck the rest of the season, fellas. Really
Alrighty.
appreciate it. Yep. You guys, great young man. Thank you, Coach. Certainly appreciate it.
I take it Coach Harvey's going to be talking about Miami the entire time, right?
No, I'm going to talk a little bit about his. You get over these guys, but
All right.
I'll wait till the end. We'll talk a little about his 2026 schedule.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It just came out.
And he's with us right now. You got any parting words to say for these basketball players there, Coach?
Well, I will admit, and I logged on to Facebook a minute ago, and Eli Wilson's dad had like a little screenshot of them loading up. Now, they're pretty good basketball players, but they better be good at basketball because they could be some of the ugliest looking guys I've ever seen in my entire life. So.
Coach Harvey just gave you a lot of love. Hey, fellas, Coach Harvey just gave you a lot of love. He said you might be some of the ugliest guys he's ever seen on a video stream.
They definitely have faces for radio. That is for sure.
Yeah, faces for radio. But I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't know that you were recruiting West Virginia, your home state. You got two West Virginia. two West Virginia boys here. I said, man, that's reaching. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're doing superb. We appreciate you taking time. You know, it's always tough. I don't care, how, as she continues to advance at college. Every time you say goodbye to your baby, and you just did that at the airport, it's not easy. So
No doubt.
let's lighten it up with a little conversation about your alma mater, and I turn that over to Ray. He's been chomping at the bit to talk to you.
Coach, great to talk to you again. Thanks so much for joining me on that during that pregame last time. I'm going to try to fit you in. I'm going to be doing a 2-hour on Monday night. I know you're going to be busy yourself there in Miami.
He's going to be busy, brother.
If you got a moment to check in, Coach. But no, I wanted to say, of all the storylines going into this game, to Mendoza and Cristobal and playing together, the fathers, and Mario back and Signetti, there's so many storylines. Not just as a former U player, Miami Hurricane yourself, but give me the 3 top storylines, if you will, for this game for you, Coach.
Well, I mean, I think the first storyline is it's been 25 years. I mean, it's been it's been 24 years, whatever it's been. It's been too long. I mean, Miami, I love the way that Coach Cristobal has approached it as, Miami's not back, we're here. You know what I mean? I think that when you've been sort of out of the forefront of college football for as long as we've been, I said a long time ago, with the way the rules are in college football now and where kids can move around and, who doesn't want to play football in Miami? You know what I mean? I came from Southern West Virginia, and, I was overwhelmed for about 2 weeks. And then after those 2 weeks, I thought to myself, there is no better place in this world to play college football and live a life than Miami, Florida. And then now with the way the rules are, I mean, instead of having 100 players every 2 or 3 years, they may have 150 to 200 that switch doors and go from school to school. And I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. And there's no better place than Miami to take advantage of the way the rules are right now. So
Coach.
I guess the first one would be, Miami's back. Secondly, it is a Miami thing. I think that, Coach Cristobal's done a great job of sort of locking down South Florida, the way that all the great coaches have. And then just the overall excitement. I mean, my teams, older teams, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Miami's a special place, and to see, the brotherhood of I'm just a lowly deep snapper, nobody from West Virginia, but when I'm talking to the greats of my era, we're all just as excited about the opportunity to be able to either be there in person, which I got lucky and got a few tickets, but then just being a part of it, we're all excited about it.
Don't ever say lowly snapper.
No.
You created an opportunity for yourself. That took a lot of gonads, brother. That took a lot of nads.
Yes, sir.
And Coach, talk about there is a I don't want to say mystique. There is a type of person that comes out of Miami, and for me, it's been my entire life.
Cocky.
But no, well, maybe, but Benny Blades, Warren Sapp, Ernie Kosar, even Jim Kelly, just over the years. I did not see Coach Cristobal. I know he was on the staff with Saban, as were the 4 that were in the finals. I did not see this character. Always knew he was a smart coach, knew he had an outgoing personality. What have you seen over the last couple of years as Mario's grown into this situation or this position now to be at the precipice of getting Miami back into the championship?
Mike says it right. I mean, if you're not a Miami fan, you call it cocky. If you're a Miami fan, you call it swagger.
Okay,
And
swagger. I don't want to lose you. Swagger. You got swagger.
Well, I think that Mario has that swagger and that confidence that a lot of Miami guys has, but he just has a personality that is, I heard it best. My actual mother-in-law said it the other night. Mario Cristobal is an offensive lineman dressed up in a head coach's body.
Oh.
And he's an offensive lineman that loves Miami, he loves the University of Miami, he loves the city of Miami, and he's done nothing but, just exemplify that, not just at Miami, but everywhere he's been. He's one of the top recruiters in college football. He's been one of the top recruiters for the last 20 years, and I mean that's why we are. That's the bloodline for any program. If you can't recruit, you can't win, and there's a reason why they're able to win, because he's one of the best to do that. So.
And when I saw him leaving the field there last game after that victory, and he's walking off the field, and Pat McAfee, the video I'm talking about, right? Pat McAfee sneaking up on him, and you see that Mario Cristobal, and then I've got the other side, Signetti, which that guy should probably be at half the time should be in a lunatic home, and half the time should be getting some psychotherapy. But I love that you see the Cristobal coming out. I think we're going to see some. Both 2 coaches on Monday night. What do you think we're going to find out about them? Are they going to be buttoned up tight, or do you think we're going to get a little loose and free-spirited here in competition there? In the Orange Bowl.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Coach.
I think the best thing that they both do, Cristobal and Signetti, is they are themselves. I mean, Cristobal's a fighter. He's an aggressive guy. He's a, people think he's a conservative football coach, which he is, but it's just like I said before. He's an offensive lineman in a head coaching position, which they're just always looking for a fight. You know what I mean? And then Signetti, I mean, he's been successful wherever he's been. He's got, he's part of Saban's coaching tree as well. I think that, both teams sort of exemplify and play and perform through the personalities of their head coaches. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Coach, how much is this shaking? I want to go ahead and say I believe Dan Sileo, of course, Dan Sileo is on the radio here in Monday through Friday on 820, also a former Miami Hurricane, former Buccaneer. I heard that he's also possibly a legend. Yes, sir. And he's taken Aiden Quippett, who's one of his possible side guys down there in Miami. So if you run into them, but tell me about the U connection since you've had this success here in 2025 in the six, that it's shooken the tree back up, because you guys have always been a tight-knit community. The U stays together, but what's happened as far as lately that's generated and been more exciting now to still be part of that community?
Well, I don't think it's ever ended. I think it's one of those deals where I think there's a difference in a fan and a true Hurricane. There's a lot of fans out there. I'll be honest with you. The one thing that if I can say is a negative thing about Miami sometimes is we do have a lot of bandwagon fans. When things are good, they're good. When things are bad, they're quick to jump on it. But there was a comment the other day that was made by Joaquin Gonzalez. It's just go time. Whether you're on the field on Monday night or you're a part of the long history, it's just something we all believe in. We believe that green and orange, and we're just excited to, we're relevant with the team that's there now, but the relevance for us has always been there. So we're just all excited to see how things pan out.
You're listening to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection. We're live from Ferg's Sports Bar and Grill, America's #1 local sports bar, as rated by USA Today. And, of course, we're on RadioStPete.com, as well as our own channel, and that's Florida Sports Streams. But now we're doing our video streaming. We're on YouTube today, and we'll be on Facebook and YouTube next week, and we're looking forward to that as well. And one of our regulars and a great guy, Chris Harvey, joins us. Brad, did you have a little something for Coach?
Yeah. I love that this championship validates this 12-team expanded playoff system. But so you think that this is a good idea that they went for this? Because I love that Miami's in this. It kind of creates that Cinderella story, even though I know people in Miami aren't going to view it as a Cinderella
story. And it kicked the SEC's ass.
Well,
exactly.
And people in Notre Dame at number 13 are telling you that 12 wasn't enough.
Hey, easy.
Go ahead, Coach.
No, I mean, I think that, as far as I don't think they got it wrong. I mean, I think Cristobal said it from the first time they beat Texas A&M. If there was ever any question about Miami being in, then that was answered with the first win. But, I do believe that there's room for a few more teams. I do think, like I said before when we talked a couple of weeks ago, I do think that there has to be some change as far as, there's just a difference between those group of 4 teams and those group of 5 teams. And I know that, like we talked about before, that's going to upset some people, but there is. Now, I do believe there's a place for those teams to have that same type of level of competition. But I think that if you go to, if it were a 12-team playoff to where you weren't including teams that, I mean, for lack of a better explanation, had no chance of competing with those guys, then I think maybe the Notre Dames or the Texas or whoever was next in line there would have been involved. But I don't think that the outcome changes much. I think that Miami has shown that Miami and Indiana both have shown that they're two of the two best teams in the country, and we'll see which one wins on Monday.
What do you like about this Miami team? Again, an 8.5 point dog right now. Besides the fact that they're playing at home, and it'll be interesting to see the mix of Hoosiers versus Hurricane fans.
Well, you're sort of poking the bear right now, Mike.
Well, I know, I know that.
You can't honestly believe that after everything that Miami has shown, that they are really an 8.5 point underdog.
I don't understand.
You know what I mean?
I think it's a sucker. I think it's a sucker bet.
I do. It's exactly what it is. I understand what it is. That's what I don't really know the definition of clickbait, but I feel like the 8.5 point.
Yes.
I mean, we have to find a way to talk about Indiana for at least the next 2 days, because after Monday there will be no more talking about Indiana.
Wow.
Well, I know a lot. I know a lot of Indiana farmers. I know that area real well, and they've mortgaged their farmland for this game, and
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Are you-
it'll be a good game.
Are
I
you
mean,
in the-
I'm just joking when I say that.
Are you in the car?
I am. Well, my wife is driving me right now.
I know that. I just wanted to do a shout out to her.
Yeah,
Your lovely bride.
She's sitting right here. She's Miss Savannah is chauffeuring me as we speak. We dropped off Rhea at the airport this morning. We dropped off Bailey at my in-laws, and now we're in the car driving south.
And she's a
to Miami
hurricane
for the
too.
weekend.
It played on the golf
She
team,
is.
so you got a lot
She
of
did.
energy and passion in that family. And again, another reason why I probably should be pulling for Miami.
You
You
are.
mean to tell me you're not pulling for Miami?
I'm not
Mike.
saying a word, Coach.
Cedar, I tried to keep you clean, Mike, but you had to open your mouth.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying a word now.
Hey, Coach, can I ask you a
Mike,
quick
Mike,
question?
you're not.
No, go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
Coach.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I want to ask you because Ben was
No, you're
alluding.
good.
So, the comparisons are that football's working out because it seems like this 12 teams kind of working out to be like a mini March Madness. And we always, the predication was you can't play more than one football game a week. Some would say maybe one every 10 days. Are we going to have to pull back on the conferences and structure them a little bit and to maybe expand these a little bit more in the future, do you think? Or is that even something that's going to be on the table? I know it's a hard,
Well, I mean,
deep question.
I have a question that I thought about this too. I don't understand the purpose of the conferences.
Right.
I mean, I do think that the conferences themselves have sort of muddied the water because, I mean, when you look at the way that Miami has handled some SEC programs, can you honestly believe that all those SEC programs deserve to be in the playoff over the Notre Dames of the world or some other schools? I think that there is definite SEC bias because SEC brings in more money, and let's just all be honest, is money is what rules the world. So I don't understand, when we're talking about the playoffs, what do the conferences have to do with the playoffs? I mean, I don't understand why just because you're in the SEC conference that you automatically get preference in playoff selections, or the Big Ten for that matter. I mean, because if you think about it, Miami beat an SEC team, then they beat a Big Ten team, then they beat an SEC team, and hopefully they'll beat a Big Ten team. So, the team from the conference that they didn't even have a season that was good enough to participate in their conference championship has now crossed the bridge into the two elite conferences and beat the best that they have. So how much weight should the conference that you come from really play in your participation in the college football playoff? I just don't think that really matters.
Yesterday Pat McAfee had a conversation with your president of the University of Miami. I'm very impressed with that dude, and he's got he's got a recipe for success. It's going to take generations to get it to that point, but you guys are being led by a very wise man, and I was
Yes,
impressed.
sir.
I was impressed by his delivery.
Well, we've had a history of good leaders at Miami. I mean, I think the thing that has allowed for Miami to be successful right now is there's that connection. They talk about it all the time between the school administration, the athletic administration, and the head coach. They just sort of seem to be working step by step, and that's sort of what you see when you're able to have that, is the success that they've been able to have. And in a season where I think the greatest story about Miami this year is the fact that sure, Indiana, if they win, they could probably win. I think it's probably more wins in a single season than anybody, but I think and that's a great story, but also a story of a team that lost 2 consecutive games in the middle of the season that were written off and barely make the playoffs. So if they win, I think that just goes to show you that, teams can have a mishap throughout the season or a loss here and there, and it doesn't really discredit their overall potential as a team.
All right, my friend. Well, again, say hello to your bride, and we're going to be talking a little golf on the tee Florida sometime here in the next month or so. And
Yes, sir.
We'll get
Yes,
your
sir.
daughter down for sure. We had a lot of fun with your CCC basketball teams. We had the girls down and now the boys, and they all Ray talk about Coach Harvey makes certain that the butts are in the seats watching their fellow high school students.
Yes, sir.
And that,
No doubt.
and
No
that's-
doubt. We try to be as supportive as we can be.
And that's a testament. Thank you very much, as always. We'll get you back on. We'll talk about that's a rugged schedule for 2026, but that's about a 15-minute conversation. We'll get Brad
No doubt.
Richardson.
No doubt. Mike, before you go, I need to hear you say it. Go Canes. Just go Canes one time.
Go Canes.
Go Canes.
There we go. There we go.
I didn't say cocaine. I said go Canes. All right, Coach. Thanks very much,
All right,
man.
boss. Thank you, guys.
Drive safe. Have a great trip, and relish in every moment of this. This is a special
All right, brother.
moment for all you alumni.
on the way down south.
I appreciate it, guys.
Take care, Coach. Good
Chris
safe
Harvey's
travels.
just a great guy. But now you've got Alex Reba's input. You've got Coach Harvey's input. Now it's time for Ben's best bets. And, you've got divisional playoffs. I know you've got your opinion. We got the Natty. And then we got to talk a little Rays. You guys just came back from their
Ray store.
Their store as you always sneak out of here. I don't know where you're going.
Yeah, we go to the store. We got to get our free cups.
Oh, you
of
just
coffee.
you grabbed that out of your car just to prove you weren't out there not throwing down schnapps.
It's actually got ice pick vodka in it with a little body armor. That's how we roll. So,
body armor with a little ice pick back.
Hey, this stuff's great, though. I'll tell you what. I love going in that store. Wonderful conversations you get to have with the people there.
They all work at the stadium.
And guess what? They're locals. They're people who work here, who live here, that want to see baseball stay in St. Petersburg and not go across the bridge.
They saw how it didn't work last year in Tampa.
Yep.
But they, and it's funny because they're working for the team as we speak, but they're letting us know the attendance was so low. Like no, we got to tell people this. Okay. So anyway, let's get into these games.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, since we're on the topic of Indiana, Miami, I think it's going to be a great game. Obviously, two spectacular teams. I love Mendoza. He's spectacular. I think this is
cool, calm.
He is, and he's such
Tom
a
Brady
humble guy.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see here, I think we should all be taking the over on this game. The over on that is
Miami's got a hell of a defense.
I still think the over is a good take on that. Let's see here. The over was 47.5. Oh, I'm taking that for sure.
Miami put that up.
And
against Oregon.
The Mendoza tie back to Tom Brady. Funny as it is, the Vegas Raiders have the #1 overall pick this year, right? But they don't need just a quarterback. They need so much more. But Tom Brady's now part owner of the team, and some things are calling the shots. Does Tom Brady go #1 overall for a quarterback that might be his clone, or does he want to buy that 199th fifth round guy and build a team around him? I like that question. But anyway, go ahead, Ben. Your next game. I apologize.
Then we'll move on to the NFL. The NFL, Denver Broncos versus Buffalo. That's today.
In Mile High Stadium.
Today at 4:30 p.m. I'm
Easy with
excited for this game. I'm taking the under on it. I think the under is a good bet. You got to think about that. The elevation. You got these two teams. There's been injuries on both sides a little bit, but I do think that the under is a good bet on that. It's under 45.5. That's what I'm going with on that one.
Right.
Next, San Francisco versus
I like
Seattle.
that, by the way, because of the Denver Bronco defense as well as the altitude. And I had season tickets for years in the 80s and early 90s.
Bo Nix, baby.
Exactly. And I like that cat.
What was the over-under in that game again?
The over-under 45.5.
45.5.
They're going low on the over-unders today. I guess they figure everyone's going to come in tight here in the conference.
You're going to come in
championships.
gassed
Well, not
when
conference,
they
but
And then next game, San Francisco versus Seattle. That's today at 8 p.m. You know, we got to think about this. The electric waves from underneath the practice field.
49ers.
Harming the 49ers.
Yes.
It's real, Mike. It is a
Well,
true
did it reach
phenomenon.
up and impact Sam Darnold, too? Because he's injured.
I know, but
What do they do, just migrate? Where did you come up with this BS?
It's all over the internet, Mike. You got to open up your eyes.
Anything on the internet's facts.
Yeah.
You got to open your eyes.
There's a
Mike.
power plant. There's a power plant blowing out the ACL of George Kittle, my Hawkeye.
There you go.
What BS?
Hey, I like the story. I like the conspiracy
you stick
theory
with it.
behind it. So I'm gonna say take Seattle -6.5. I think that's a good bet. I think that they're gonna pull off a victory there. I really like Seattle.
Niners
this year.
have been very inconsistent, no doubt about it.
Exactly. Then the next game we have tomorrow at 3:00 p.m. Houston versus New England. I'm going to take New England -3.5. I think New England's going to beat
Barry
Houston.
Smith doesn't like that.
I
It's
know.
in New England.
I like
though.
that. Yeah, that's true.
It is in New
I
England.
like that Houston defense,
Ooh,
man.
It's going to be cold. And defense travels in the cold. But, I mean, does C.J. Stroud
I don't
and
think
offense
C.J.
travel
Stroud's
in
going
that
to
cold?
travel in the cold.
Exactly. So I think New England's going to find a way to get it done. I love the quarterback over in New England. I think he could.
Stroud, I love the kid, but that's damn cold.
It is pretty darn cold. That's why
Defense wins championships, boys and girls.
Mhm. Next, I'm going Los Angeles Rams versus Chicago. That's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. I don't know if it's just because I got a lot of Chicago fans around me, but I'm feeling the Bears, baby.
I am
feeling
torn.
the Bears, and it's +4
Yeah.
for the Bears. So I'm going to take the Bears +4 and hopefully take that for a victory.
You got it
As the Packer fan, my choking Packers. It made me puke. Made my 2-year-old grandson cry.
Well, because Grandpa was crying now. That's why.
And my son.
And your son.
And the entire Packer Nation.
The whole
The Fleur, run him out of town.
Mike, your Packers never had a chance. You want to know why?
We were ahead.
You
Are
want
you
to know?
kidding me?
You want to know why? Because they're on a mission from God. They have the Pope from Chicago. He's blessing the team.
He played the papal card.
He is blessing the team. It has the papal authority, and they're going to get this game. They're going to win.
Okay.
Hell, they might even be going to the Super Bowl.
You brought the Pope into it. Now I got it.
Here's the best part. He's going to be using the Pope in April when the Cubs are across the street, so
that's
you
right.
can't say anything.
Well, he's a White Sox
He's a
fan.
White Sox
Well,
fan.
he's a
So
Chicago guy.
He's a White Sox fan. He's gonna be sending the police to there like they did in Blues Brothers.
Exactly. All right. So
those are my best bets for this week, Mike, and hopefully they all pay
They
out.
actually sound solid for once. I mean, he had
For once.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the season.
College football, I was like 85% hitting.
in the
They've been
pros-
dog shit the rest of the year.
In the pros, you were hose.
Yeah, the pros, I was rough.
But those, you actually backed them all up with logic on all 4 of those. I mean, getting Chicago and 3.5 points at home. Okay, I don't
Logic,
care.
You know what?
Logic, electricity, and the Pope.
Boy, you know what? And Tristan's sitting here because he's got more facts and a higher IQ than all of us.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that, but probably does. And he's wondered all season long. You've been pulling these right out of your yin yang. Have we tracked your percentage of winning? We're doing that next season.
For college football, I was at a high percentage.
North of 75.
Yes.
At least percent.
However, I will
North
say
of 75?
Yes. NFL though,
If you're north of 50%,
I
you're
was
a gambler.
I was
That's
like
right.
I was
But
like
the-
30%
But the
for
pros
NFL.
brought him back down below to
So that's how you
Mendoza.
got back to 50%
No,
Yeah.
below the Men-
overall.
he's below the Mendoza, but I mean,
Yes.
at least he had a good year and you didn't lose too
Mendoza.
much.
Exactly.
I
The
could bring him
Mendoza
into it.
Just to clear the air about the ongoing discussion that's
Here
been
we go. Here we go.
that you guys have been having
This is
about the
this is how we go from fake news to fact checker.
This is real news.
the 49ers, the theory that's standing right now. It goes like this. The 49ers practice next to an electrical substation operated by Silicon Valley Power. The question is whether time spent in proximity to low-frequency electromagnetic fields weakens tendons and causes soft tissue damage, which we've seen a lot of injuries out of, guys like Fred Warner, obviously, your CMCs, your George Kittles with the ACL.
But wait,
So it's
read
kinda
that-
raised
Shut
some
that power
questions.
plant down. What do you, seriously?
Read that first line for me again. No, the first sentence, just the first one.
The 49ers practice next to an electrical substation operated by Silicon Valley Power.
Stop. Silicon Valley Power.
We need to investigate.
Who
them.
owns the Seahawks? Steve Ballmer. He's Silicon Valley. He's Microsoft.
Oh my
And
God.
Seahawks are playing the Niners tomorrow night in Seattle.
They're gonna crank those Rays up.
They did that all
That's
week.
some freaking
There's
guy
some
like in
legs
the
to
Wizard
this.
of Oz.
This is-
Overload
I
the
see
power.
it. Ben, I see it.
And it starts to raise questions because obviously you have all these now you
Behind the curtain, some dude.
you have all these AI centers that are supposedly like poisoning water sources, and one of the biggest ones is in Tennessee. It explains why the Tennessee Titans have been so poor.
Why they
this year.
tanked. Exactly.
Because the water they've been drinking's been infected.
So this guy works for Hard Rock Bets, and he's back there.
Maybe
Overload the grid. I'm getting a call. Overload the
You know what?
grid.
Steve
Fixing-
Ballmer
fixing-
says Microsoft needs more juice.
Fixing the scores wasn't enough. The getting to the refs wasn't enough. Let's start poisoning the water they drink and the air that they breathe.
Hey, for a second, I got to digress. Okay, we're talking about sports gambling, right?
Yeah, love it.
And you love it.
I've made some money.
27 college basketball players have been indicted recently.
Well,
have you seen that?
Well, it's basketball, Mike. It's the worst sport on television.
Leave it to
As you
Ben.
just
Leave it
said,
to Ben to
CCC.
defend it. By the way.
Yeah. So listen to this, Mr. Gambler.
Yeah.
This NBA player, now this is all allegedly, but I'll have my fact checker. He was playing over in the pro league in China. That's where he started fixing games. And
This wasn't Chauncey Billups, right? This was
no. Anyway, find his name for me, please. So anyway, he's over there in China fixing games all the time, and people are just raking in the cash over here in the U.S. That's when he thought, people get greedy.
Hey, there's something
But he
going
said
on over
there's
there.
3 things when he was talking to these guys, they got quotes because they had him wiretapped. There's 3 things you can count on. Remember this, Hard Rock Bets. Death taxes and Chinese basketball. So there goes table tennis. You're going to start doing Chinese basketball.
I mean, I'll get on anything pretty much. If I know I can make a buck, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Mike, we saw it. It's happening over in Asia. Mr. Otani, he definitely was gambling a little bit on those games. And Chinese basketball, that too.
27 athletes. Am I correct?
Yeah, 27 athletes, but former NBA player Antonio Blakeney played in the Chinese
Never heard
Basketball
of him.
Association from 2022 to 2023.